I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
Hi everyone, it is your girl Dayna Patreace, aka the Black Fairy, back with another video. I'm trying a little something new with this video. I'm going to do a little bit of commentary on some therapy videos that I've seen that have helped me really get in tune with my own healing, as well as, giving me some direction in regards to a lot of the shadow work. A lot of us can't afford therapy, right? So we turn to self-help books and we look for spiritual things online to help us, to guide us. Well, this has been one of those tools for myself, these videos. And I wanted to share them and also get some perspective and maybe even help nudge you in the direction that you may need for your own healing. Okay, you guys? So this is a little bit different video. I'm even doing it a little bit different as I'm not sure how I want to present these videos. I haven't quite figured out how to be on screen and play the video at the same time. Things like that. So for now, I'm going to try it this way. You guys can let me know what you'd prefer in the comments below. This particular first video is from the Crappy Childhood Fairy YouTube channel. Okay, it's in general about the 3 Cptsd behaviors that push people away. Cptsd being childhood post-traumatic stress syndrome. This may resonate with some of you, it may not with others, but a lot of our traumas are from our childhood. Now, everybody's on this, different spectrum of healing and what they've been through in their childhood that they require healing. But a lot of the ways that we guard ourselves now is because of the ways that we were unprotected when we were a child. So these videos have truly helped me navigate myself through shadow work, dealing with my own childhood traumas. I definitely identify with Cptsd for several reasons, and you may resonate with it as well. I am going to leave her channel below. Her name is Anna Runkle. She teaches people to recognize and heal the symptoms of complex Cptsd. Her work focuses on overcoming childhood abuse and neglect. She is not a therapist, you guys, but she is someone who has used her own childhood traumas to help heal herself from childhood PTSD. As she says, traditional therapies did not seem to help her. She created a program that she's been teaching for about 28 years, and her channel info will be listed below. I'm giving her full credit. You will know where to find her. This video is simply a commentary and hopefully, anyways, I believe is in the realms of using for fair use according to those laws. I'm not promoting these videos as a replacement for therapy or counseling. I'm just showing tools that have helped me on my own spiritual journey and helped me in regard to the shadow work that I've done. In this case, my own childhood trauma. Now, as I stated before, in this video, Anna discusses 3 Cptsd behaviors that push people away. For me, I am notorious for doing that. It's one of the reasons why I haven't really been able to find stability in relationships with people. I'm far too guarded, and I've been working on opening up and being that vulnerable person again. And this video touched on some things that I would really like to discuss. We're going to watch it now, and I will be pausing the video to give my thoughts on certain things in these aspects that she's talking about. And I really want you guys to maybe pop down below and share your perspectives as well. But yeah, let's get into this.
People who grew up with trauma struggle to maintain good relationships is because of our own behaviors. Whether we want them to or not, we do things that push people away. I'm Anna Runkle, also known as the Crappy Childhood Fairy, and I teach people how to heal from the effects of abuse and neglect in childhood. I teach a lot about triggers, the way people and experiences can just totally dysregulate us and throw us off, neurologically, physically, and emotionally. Now, triggers are important, but what's also important are the ways that we act when we're feeling triggered, or when we're triggered and don't even realize it, and we end up hurting or alienating other people. And this makes me so sad. It's why so many of us have suffered so much loss. And we've often gone through our lives longing for connection and not finding it, or alone and scared to even try anymore. And I'm here to say there is so much healing possible, and I can show you how. Because if you want to change any negative pattern, everything depends on your ability to see and change, to find the little spots where you have some power to change how your life turns out. And this can happen when you lovingly, courageously shift your focus from what happened to you to how you're handling life right now, when you have a choice in the question of what happens next.
Now, at this point in the video, I was just like, this lady is reading me for filth, okay? She is literally talking directly to me and how I've been in relationships and some of the milestones that she hit in regards to how you get that way. And just the intro itself just left me with like this need to know more, but I also I was very much triggered, to say the least. Which I think is normal. And let me know if that resonated with you as well below in the comments. Because for me, it was definitely very triggering. But of course, I want to hear more. And I know you do too. But seriously, y'all, I was like, wow, this resonates with me on this healing journey. This resonates with me in regards to what it is that I'm learning about myself. But let's continue on to behavior number 1.
Behavior number 1 that can push people away, our loneliness gets leaky. Loneliness is like the number 1 symptom of early trauma, and sometimes it spills out into the way that we relate to other people, and it makes us seem, I hate this word, but needy. Some ways that this can show up when we're first getting to know someone. We dominate the interaction with our stories and our feelings. So for a friendship to blossom, there's got to be some give and take, talking, listening, caring about the other person, and being genuinely interested in them. Here's another thing our loneliness makes us do. We sometimes confuse being open with other people with just, spilling our pain. Have you done that? If you're just getting to know someone and you're bringing out all your trauma stories, and let's face it, we have lots of trauma stories, and they've kind of crowded out a lot of the other possible stories we could be telling. But if you're talking about that stuff as soon as you meet someone, you might want to catch yourself and decide to just pull back and set aside the sad stuff and then measure it out in little increments over time. It's totally important to share this part of ourselves with people close to us, but unless it's an established relationship with someone who cares about the totality of you, you run the risk of overwhelming people or freaking them out. I know I did. And then they close their hearts to you. It's just too much. Now, one exception to that is when you're talking to people who are very traumatized themselves, or who are in an altered state from drugs or alcohol, or who don't care what state you're in because they're trying to get something from you. So pouring your heart out in that situation might lead to a connection of a sort, but this is exactly how we so often end up entangled with inappropriate or destructive people. We get very intense. The people who can handle it are the very people who are not good for us to be around. So be measured. Little bits of your story shared over a slow time frame will help you start to build authentic friendships.
Whew. Now this right here, y'all, ooh, this is definitely reminiscent of my teenage self. Okay, I was a very lonely teenager, y'all. And I found myself oversharing and putting my business all out there for the sake of, really wanting to feel and be understood. I shared a lot with people I didn't know too well, which honestly for me was most often used against me at some point later in time. Now, knowing what I know it was probably too much for them. Heavy energy for anyone to bear. And I know this because I could not bear it. And it is why I overshared in the first place. So hearing her say this really made me think back to those teenage years. Really hard, really triggering. What about you guys? Do you guys find that your loneliness gets leaky like she described? Comment below. What's your story with that? I know for me, it definitely did. And I can see how it reiterates through my life, even today. With that being said, let's get right back into it. Let her continue.
Now, you might also be leaking your loneliness when you do too much of the initiating of get-togethers. You call them, you text them, you've got fun ideas they might enjoy, but it's always you doing the asking. Now, if you know someone who's been depressed and wants a little encouragement, there's no problem with doing this. But in an equal relationship where no one's trying to help the other person, it's better to allow for reciprocity. You invite them to get together, then wait for them to invite you. Maybe they'll happily surprise you and be right there with an invitation very soon after the last time you got together. Or maybe you won't hear from them for a while. When people don't make an effort to get together, that is information. It's good for you to know about what kind of a friendship they're interested in and what you can expect. Like, maybe not much of a friendship in that case, and definitely not a romantic relationship. So when one person doesn't pan out into a reciprocal friendship, it's just time to meet some extra people, some new people, not to keep pushing invitations on the same person.
Now, this part specifically didn't really resonate to me. I've never been one to chase friendships or seek out friendships or request someone's presence more than once or just continually seek out people who aren't interested in me. But I do know people who are like this, who have had this type of attitude, and now it makes more sense. What about you guys? Were you guys more extroverted in your depression in the sense of you were constantly maybe trying to reach out to others or just really overbearingly seeking friendship from people who may not have been interested in it? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, you know what? We're going to continue. On to number 2.
Okay, second behavior that pushes people away. We get overly other-focused. Do you know what I mean? We get very wrapped up in what the other person is thinking and feeling at the expense of what we are thinking and feeling. And this is one of those things where it always feels like no one should be able to tell that you're doing it because, you're trying to be a good friend, right? But think about when people have done this to you, asking, how are you doing? Trying to read your mind, trying to fix problems that aren't even there. They're always kind of like pecking at you with this. It feels yucky, right? This is a classic fawning behavior. That's one of the major expressions of Cptsd. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And with fawning, it's like our whole beings get taken over by trying to read another person. And yes, this was a survival tool for a lot of us when we were little and trying to gauge our own safety in unsafe situations. But now, the mode of behavior completely kills genuine connection. It's a form of being in our own heads, of not being present, of giving all our power to someone who has not even asked for our power. The relationships you want never require that you shut down or mentally flee the situation or give them all your power. And this is similar to another thing some of us do. When we feel rejected and hurt, but aggressively covered up by being cheerful, helpful, agreeable, no problem. This is what people who were abused as kids get way too good at. I call it crap fit. And I'll share a video with you about that at the end of this one. But going right into people pleasing when you're attacked, that's what it is. If someone's not treating you well, you can say something or you don't have to. And of course, you can always leave. But if some old hurt part of you responds to mistreatment by jumping in and doing a song and dance to show that, hey, you're not hurt, you're fine, you're cool, is there anything you can do? This is not connection. This is you playing a role. And if this is familiar to you, ask yourself if that's something that you're doing with any people in your life right now. Real friendships never require taking crap or abandoning yourself as a means to cope. Real friendships are made of you being present. You are present. That presence is one of the most remarkable things that begins to show up. I love watching that with the people in my programs. So many positive changes flow from there.
Now, when she started talking about that fawning behavior, Lord, okay, this was true for me too, y'all. Always in my own head, always second guessing myself, and always beating myself up by overanalyzing and over-focusing. I am definitely guilty of giving all my power away to others and their thoughts and their ideas of me. I was a master at acting like I could care less, but inside I felt like I was dying. So sometimes it would pop up as people pleasing. I would people please my way to whatever I was searching for. Like Anna described, it was easy to wear a mask and do my song and dance. For me, it was all protection, an armor. And, along the way, I lost my ability to understand. Understanding what real friendships are supposed to be about. I personally conquered these challenges through shadow work and journaling, which I always use as a tool when I'm doing shadow work. In fact, I highly recommend it. So if you're listening to this and working on something like this resonates with you, I would recommend grabbing a journal. You can actually buy one from me. I have journals for sale in my bio, just standard journals, and you can grab yours today on Amazon below in the description box. But getting back to what Anna was talking about, healing these aspects are really important if you want to move forward, and especially if you want to stop pushing others away. That's being said, let's continue on to number 3.
Okay, the third behavior that pushes people away, it's having a lack of clarity about when it's just you. Meaning you have trouble accurately seeing your own role in problems, either blaming yourself too much or denying any responsibility, or in fact, the thought that you play any role just makes you angry. Have you dealt with people like that? Either way, black and white thinking, I'm totally responsible, I'm never responsible, it's a way of checking out of reality. And people who are not in reality are very hard to connect with. So some signs that you might be doing this include you apologize too much. Have you ever had someone do that to you? But for something they only imagine had offended you, and you're saying, please, you don't need to apologize. But they keep doing it and they keep doing it and they feel so ashamed. And it's not a good feeling to be either person in that. So if you're profusely apologizing all the time, and key indicator here is that the other person keeps insisting that you don't need to or seems uncomfortable, let it go. Just let it go. The same goes for putting yourself down, saying, oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot, I look awful, I don't even belong here. You don't mean it this way, but it can come off like you're begging for something. What's really going on is you're drowning in fear, of course. And healing this, that's what I teach in all my courses. But telling everyone the contents of this trash can in your mind, it just can be off-putting. Now, sometimes people who already have a trusting relationship might confess to each other the doubts they have about themselves. But blurting your fears out every time you make a mistake is, consciously or unconsciously, it's an attempt to get other people to make you feel less fearful. They probably would help you if they could, but they can't. So it just makes things awkward. Now, on the other side of the is it just me syndrome are behaviors where we're oblivious to the fact when something really is our fault, which happens, right? And this shows up when someone says they're bothered by something we did, and we skip over hearing it or caring how they feel and go right into defensiveness or even blaming them. Everybody knows what this feels like, and absolutely no one likes it. Now, it's true that sometimes people are going to blame you unfairly for a problem, but the thing about having Cptsd is our judgment can be a bit slow or off, so it pays to listen. Now, I'm not talking about listening to abusers here. That's a whole different thing when someone gaslights you or attacks you for imagined offenses and they can't be reasoned with. Those are not friends, okay? We get really fuzzy on determining, is this person's criticism right now something that I need to hear and take seriously? And the answer is, as a rule, yes. If you like and respect someone, it's only fair to hear what they have to say. Now, healing our childhood PTSD involves a balancing act between being open to hear things like criticism, but not instantly taking it inside our innermost heart and making it our truth. There's this place I call a front porch in our emotional world where we can listen and consider what we're hearing and take a moment to decide if we're going to let that inside our emotional home, our place of truth. Listening on the porch allows us to respond. And responding, it's not the same as reacting, is it? Reacting is how we end up lashing out and running away from people. Responding means considering another person's feelings, showing courtesy even when you don't see truth in what they're saying, not yet anyway, and making an effort to understand the spirit of what they're saying and responding to that. You don't have to fawn and grovel, and you don't have to annihilate them. You can say, wow, I didn't realize you felt that way. Let me think about that and see if I can improve on that. Now notice all you said was that you'd think about it, that you'd see if you could improve. You didn't invalidate them. You didn't collapse emotionally, right? Sometimes during considerations, it's magical. The right words just come to you. So you can be real and tell the truth and still be a caring friend. Those two things, truth and caring, that's what allows friendships to deepen. And that's how healing works. Little changes made over time.
Woo! Trigger alert, okay? When she said you have trouble seeing your role in your problems, goodness, this was me, y'all. I was so toxic in this way. I feel like depending on the situation, I definitely blamed myself too much or denied responsibility for situations that, now I know I was attracting to myself through my own trauma. Accountability, that has been my hardest lesson. Definitely over-apologized, mostly out of fear of losing someone, allowing shame and guilt to run me. Definitely found myself putting myself down to an almost over-exaggerated amount. And I still fight with this one, y'all. And how she says it comes off as begging. Honestly, I was begging. It's sad to say, but the loneliness I felt seemed worse. I didn't know how to be with me. I see now, okay, how it pushed others away. And then when she talked about being ultra sensitive when being approached, me, totally me, okay? I'm still working on this aspect of myself. I'm still unraveling this knotted ball within that has me question my worthiness at times. It can be so crippling, y'all, but acknowledgement, they say, is the first step to healing this. Determining the various differences took time and honestly many adjustments. Okay, I'm still adjusting. Like Anna said, it takes time. And I want to encourage you guys to give yourself some grace. Her tips are super helpful and align with tactics that I've used on my own journey and shared within this video. But I want you guys to know that you too can make it through these things by acknowledging just these 3 statements about yourself, these 3 difficulties that you may be experiencing if you suffer from Cptsd can truly, truly help you on your journey. This is a channel that I highly recommend. I'm going to let her finish it up though, and we'll come back with the conclusion.
So don't give up. With small steps in your overall healing, you can learn to connect better. Better connecting, it's like jet fuel for your overall healing. So it's this positive cycle that just keeps getting better. One thing leads to another. Sounds good, doesn't it? If you want to get going on your own positive steps toward healing trauma, better connections, I've got courses for you, and they are linked as always in the description section below. I've also got bunches of really good videos coming out in the next few weeks, and to make sure you get them right away, you can subscribe by clicking right over here.
Now, as I was saying, she's got some amazing things going on for herself over on that channel. You can go check her out if anything she said has resonated with you, or if you just would like to further explore her videos. I'll definitely be doing more commentary on some of the other topics that she has dealing with childhood post-traumatic stress syndrome, blah. Because it is still something that I'm healing myself through. I would love to hear your thoughts on her video down below. Have you watched her videos? Do you have any videos that you think that I could do more commentary on? You know, anything about this video that you enjoyed, or maybe that you didn't, please let me know below. Just keep it respectful as always. I love you. I believe in you. You've got this. I know that I've learned a lot from this video. I know that this video could help spread awareness to others. And I just hope that that's exactly what it does. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, click that notification bell. And you don't want to miss any of this content. I'm coming out with new things. I have new videos, and I can't wait to share it all with you guys. I love you guys. Blessings to each and every one of you.